A Girl Called Owl, written by Amy Wilson. Chapter 4. What is it with the new guy? Mallory falls in next to me as I head for science, jostling in close so she can whisper, "Do you know him from somewhere?" "No." She looks back over her shoulder. "He's a bit intense, isn't he? He's like actively not staring at you now." I'm ignoring him. "You're blushing." I lower my head, grabbing her arm. My skin is prickling with all the unwanted attention. "Ouch, where have you been? You're freezing." I pull my hand away from her and look down at my fingers. Other kids barge past me, but I barely notice them because my skin is blue-white and sparkling beneath the tube lights, as if someone's just painted the back of my hands with frost. I flex my fingers and the prickling sensation intensifies, my forearms tingling beneath my jumper. "What is that?" Mallory whispers, leaning closer. I whip my hands away and I shove them deep into my pockets. Nothing. What was it? "Come on, we're going to be late." I hustle Mallory along to science, avoiding her eyes and telling myself blue fingers are perfectly normal. "What is up with you?" Mallory asks as we walk home later. She stares at me. "You've hardly said a word this whole way. Are you coming down with something? Your hands were so cold earlier." "I'm okay. The new boy was a bit freaky." "That's boys though, isn't it? They're all a bit freaky. Justin was giving me eyes today, even though he was walking along holding hands with Daisy." "Ugh, you still like him?" "The heart wants what the heart wants," she says in an awful soppy voice, fluttering her eyelashes at me. "You're terrible." She laughs and starts telling me about how noble she really is and how she'd never do anything because she'd never be able to live with herself. The sun is low in the sky and our breath plumes out in front of us. It was the first frost of winter this morning and it's still bitterly cold. Everything covered with a low silver mist. I look down at my hands. I can't forget what that felt like, what it looked like. What was it? "I know what this is all about," Mallory says suddenly, making me jump. "What?" I fold my arms, pushing my hands out of sight as she peers at me. "Your dad. I know it's been getting to you. You should just ask your mum. Have it out with her once and for all." She tucks her arm through mine. I dig my hands into my pockets. "Oh, I have." "But have you really? Like, properly looked her in the face and asked for a name straight out? Told her you won't budge until you know what it is?" She might have a point there, but we don't get to talk about it anymore because Connor catches up with us with his mates and they start trying to shove us into the road or a bin or a lamppost. Boys. Mum's in full-on sketchy mode when I get in, literally. She's up in the attic studio, pale dusk streaming in through the skylight, sketching winter scenes on enormous sheets of cartridge paper. Mountains and deep valleys where single houses nestle between towering skeletal trees, frozen waterfalls and solitary eagles high above tangled forests. It's a new commission. I didn't really listen to the details, but she's lost to it, so I don't ask her about fathers. If I asked her now, she'd just tell me more stories. I can see by the sparkle in her eye when she looks up. "Ow, my love, did you have a good day?" I nod, dropping my bag on the wooden, paint-splattered floor. "I made soup," she says, as if it just came to her. "Let me finish here and we'll eat." "Do you have any homework?" "Yes," I sigh, getting out my maths books. I have my own desk up here adjoining hers. I sit opposite her, noticing a few grey hairs among all the black ones as she lowers her head to her work. She's got a pencil behind one ear and a smudge of charcoal on her cheek. And she must have dressed in a hurry. Her jumper is inside out. I watch her sketch for a while. There's something magical about the way it emerges, Clever hands. I looked down at my own. They're the same shape as hers. Broad palm, long fingers. I need to ask her. Mallory's right. I need to know. Mum? She doesn't look up. I take a deep breath, but I don't know where to begin. My chest tightens as I imagine the words coming out, tangling as I try to make her understand. I've asked so many times. She's never given me a real answer. How can I convince her that I need to know now? I go to blurt it out, but it just seems too big, too important. I don't know where to begin. Nothing. She does look up then, and I busy myself finding my calculator. Maths, she murmurs. Should I find you a tutor, Owl? Mallory's mother said something about a tutor. I'm fine, I say. Let's just work. It's late by the time we get to the soup. She got lost in the sketches, and I found myself drawn into the winter world she was creating. A world like the one she told me of so many times when I was a kid. World that I still believed in. A world when I believed in things like magic. It was dusk when they came to a new horizon. The land dipped away below them, and skeletal trees opened out onto a broad valley where a dome nestled into the lower reaches of an enormous mountain range. He looked at her, and then the silence was broken by a howl that made ice fall from the branches of the trees. Her ears rang with the shock of it, and she turned, looking for the source of that desolate, yearning sound that warned of danger. Her companion started beside her, and if there was a spell that had woven them together for their long journey, it was broken by that sound. He looked at her, his eyes afraid. The wolves of winter, go! He thrust her forward down the slope to the valley. She scrambled and slipped on soft snow until she was at the bottom, and when she looked back, he was standing with his back to her, 5 wolves before him. They stood, shoulder to shoulder, as tall as he, their grey fur rippling in the wind, blue eyes sharp as they looked from her to him. What is this? She is my guest. She is not fey. We do not like it. She will bring danger. She is not a danger. Let me have one day. I have never had company here. Let me know this, and then she will return to her own place. The wolves stood silent, and she could see even in their stillness the power that had been built into those muscles. She could imagine the hunt, the silent, terrible determination, the speed, the stealth. At our howl, she must be gone. We give you 1 day, and be mindful. It is not of the natural order of things. Danger comes of this. You will pay for it 1 day. He spreads his arms as if helpless, and they lower their heads, and she marvelled at him. The power in his own limbs, the way he held his head, his own stillness and silence matched theirs. He was no man she had ever seen the like of before.